Admiral Kizaru is one of the strongest characters in the One Piece world. He is one of the 3 admirals of the Navy, who are known to be the strongest military asset that the world government have. Kizaru was first revealed to the fans before the time skip of the story during the Sabaody archipelago arc. It was there that fans found out how terrific his power was and how truly monstrous a fighter he was. Kizaru was able to take on the entirety of the worst generation by himself and defeat 4 of them with rather ease. Had he not been stopped by Rayleigh, he would have most likely defeated the members of the Straw Hat Pirates as well. Kizaru also took part in the Paramount War and suffered very little damage. After the time skip, his role in the story has been limited. However, he has now been called into action on Egghead Island and will most certainly play a major role here. Why Kizaru is coming to Egghead Island? Kizaru is one admiral who has always wanted to head into action after the time skip. This was first seen shortly after the events of the Whole Cake Island arc when Big Mom and Kaido made contact. Kizaru wanted permission to intercept the two and stop Big Mom from meeting Kaido. However, Sakazuki, the fleet admiral of the Navy, didn't allow him to do so, knowing the danger this task posed. This time around, Kizaru has been given permission to lead a fleet to Egghead Island, where the Straw Hat Pirates and Dr. Vegapunk currently are. His goal is most likely to stop the Straw Hat crew and, more importantly, eradicate Dr. Vegapunk. The Navy appears to be in on the plan to kill Vegapunk, as was suggested by Sakazuki's conversation with his fellow Marine members. Given that they know Vegapunk has now sided with the Straw Hat Pirates, his death is something that the Navy would certainly want. Kizaru's goal is to eliminate Dr. Vegapunk and, along the way, also stop the Straw Hat Pirates from doing as they desire. Having recently left for Egghead, it will most certainly take him some time to arrive at the island. In One Piece 1070, Kizaru teased the fact that he was close to the island and was leading a massive fleet to where the Straw Hat Pirates are. However, it needs to be seen when exactly he lands on the island. Regardless, he's sure to play a major role once he does arrive. Kizaru's role on Egghead Island. Kizaru is one of the strongest members of the Navy and most certainly one of the strongest people in the entire world of One Piece, as he holds the position of a Navy Admiral. Before the time skip, fans only saw glimpses of his abilities and it was clear to see that he is a monstrous fighter. Oda has saved the admirals up until this point. However, now, it is time for them to step into battle, and it looks like he's starting with Kizaru. Given the fact that Kizaru is leading a fleet to Egghead Island, the intention is clear. He wants to engage the Straw Hat Pirates in war and, with the support of the Cipher Pole, hopes to stop the crew and, at the same time, eliminate Dr. Vegapunk. With a bit of luck, he'd want to get rid of Luffy as well. As such, it is quite clear that Oda is making use of Kizaru for combat purposes. This is the first time that fans will see the Navy head into a major battle with an admiral, and the fans have wanted to see this for a long time. For those who don't remember, Kizaru is a very powerful user of Haki. However, his biggest asset is his Pika Pika no Mi, a Logia type of devil fruit that allows him to turn himself into light and manipulate it freely. Fans will surely see him make use of his abilities to the fullest in the upcoming fight and engage the members of the Straw Hat Pirates in combat. This could be either Luffy himself, Zoro, or Sanji, as all of them have reasons to take him on in combat and attempt to leave the island of Egghead safely. The callback to Sabaody. Fans with a keen eye will have noticed that Kizaru coming to Egghead Island resembles the situation the crew was faced with before the 2-year time skip on Sabaody Archipelago. At the time, Kizaru, Sentomaru, and Bartholomew Kuma were all present on the island in an event that blew up to massive proportions. This time, Sentomaru is already present on the island while Kizaru is headed towards it with a massive Navy fleet. At the same time, Bartholomew Kuma, who was recently rescued by the Navy, was last seen making use of his abilities on himself and most likely traveling to Egghead as well. All these characters will reunite in the same place for the first time in over a decade, and this is surely a callback to the events of Sabaody by Eiichiro Oda. Previously, the Straw Hat Pirates were utterly decimated on the island while the Navy, led by Kizaru, were victorious. This time around, however, things will most likely go differently, as the Straw Hat Pirates are now a Yonko crew and Luffy is closer than ever to becoming the king of the pirates. One Piece. Strongest abilities of King of Hell Zoro. Roronoa Zoro is the swordsman of the Straw Hat Pirates and one of the most important characters in the One Piece story. He aims to become the strongest swordsman by defeating Dracule Mihawk, the man who currently holds this title, and also to make Luffy the king of the pirates. Zoro is one of Luffy's wings and, as such, is someone without whom Luffy cannot accomplish his goal. In the Wano Country arc, he proved this by helping his captain in the fight against Kaido and, later, taking on King the Wildfire of the Beast's pirates in combat as well. To defeat him, Zoro had to come up with a new fighting style, called King of Hell, three-sword style, which makes him much stronger than he ever was and offers him new abilities as well. Advanced Armament Haki. The King of Hell, three-sword style is accessible only due to Enma, a powerful blade that holds the rank of Owazamono. The sword has a special property to absorb Haki from the body of the user. Usually, people are unable to handle the sword due to how extreme the Haki consumption is. However, Zoro is more than capable of wielding Enma, and he proved this in Wano. The most basic ability of Enma is to draw Ryuo from the body of the user, and Zoro displayed it immediately after testing the sword out. In his King of Hell form, Zoro can use this ability to the fullest. Since he does not regulate his Haki in this form, Zoro exudes humongous amounts of Ryuo, and thud increases his attacking output by several times. This was seen when he took on King in combat, and after he awakened the King of Hell form, his offensive power increased dramatically, partially due to this ability of his. Limited Advanced Conqueror's Haki. While Enma primarily draws out Ryuo from the bodies of the user, it can also draw out Conqueror's Haki, provided that the person willing to sword possesses this ability. Conqueror's Haki was latent within Zoro, however, he was certainly born with it, as this is an ability that one has to have from birth. In the fight against King, Zoro finally acknowledged his kingly ambitions and thus awoke to this power. The rest was handled by Enma, as it drew this power from within Zoro, thanks to its special ability. Consequently, Zoro was able to coat his swords in Conqueror's Haki, increasing his offensive output manifold. Technically, this ability was first seen on the rooftop of Onigashima, when Zoro attempted to take down Kaido with his strongest attack and managed to scar him. In the fight against King, Zoro gained conscious control over this skill, and by stopping his Haki regulation, increased the output of his attacks manifold. That said, however, Zoro's usage of this power is very limited. He can only maintain this for a couple of minutes in combat at best, as Enma draws Haki way too fast. Odin was in a league of his own and managed to wield Enma as if it were a feather, in Zoro's own words. Zoro is far from that level yet, and it'll certainly take him a long time to get there. Higher offensive power. Perhaps one of the most impressive abilities of Zoro's King of Hell style is that it offers him much higher offensive power. Since the very beginning, Zoro has been a swordsman who doesn't rely much on grace while fighting. This is something that Dracule Mihawk, the strongest swordsman in One Piece, noted himself. Instead, Zoro relies on raw offensive power and aims to overwhelm his opponents with that. King of Hell. Three-sword style is extremely useful to him in this way, as it allows Zoro to exude all his Haki at once and dramatically increase his output, albeit for a very short period of time. Nonetheless, during this time, Zoro is nigh unstoppable. Against King, this power proved to be strong enough to cut through some of the strongest attacks of the Beast's Pirates All-Star. When using all of his might, Zoro managed to cut through Karyuden, which is a mighty powerful fire technique used by King that burns so hot that it resembles magma itself. Despite it being so powerful, Zoro was able to slice it apart rather easily and also cut through the body of the user, clipping one of his wings and shattering his sword in the process. Integrated Foxfire style. The Foxfire style was first revealed in the story during the Punk Hazard arc, shortly after Sanji rescued Kinemon's torso from a freezing cold lake in Punk Hazard. This style allows Kinemon to cut through any kind of fire and even ignite his sword into flames at will. Zoro managed to steal this ability from him like the pirate he is and displayed it during his fight against the Yonko on the rooftop of Onigashima. Later, when Zoro fought against King, this ability came in handy and he incorporated it with his King of Hell mode as well. To cut through King's Karyuden, Zoro has to make use of this technique along with his high-level armament and Conqueror's Haki. It was down to the Foxfire style that Zoro was able to cut through fire and get to King's real body. Eventually, he managed to deliver a telling blow to the latter and sent him crashing into the Wano mainland. That's a wrap for this video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We'll be back with more amazing videos very soon.